Do you know that in the Balkans, states are still clearing mines from the late 90s? Do you know that Cambodia is still clearing mines from the 70s? Do you know that Laos is still clearing explosive remnants of war from a conflict from the 60s and 70s? 5 decades. States have taken 5 decades. Is it really worth it? This, we might think, is a rural problem. However, this affects us sitting in the cities as well because it disrupts food chains. A farmer is unable to till his land because it stops children from going to school. It has an impact on each and everyone locally, regionally, and globally. The humanitarian impact on life and limbs is known by everyone. However, what we don't know is the psychosocial impact on the minds of the people who live under the shadow of these anti-personnel mines. These mines were completely banned given the severe humanitarian consequences on people's lives and limbs in the 90s. The international community got together and decided that enough was enough and these weapons should forever be banned. The impact of the banning of these weapons, which is the Anti-Personnel Mine Ban Convention, resulted in the massive reduction of casualties. From a time where more than 24,000 people were getting killed and injured to this day where the number has been reduced to 6,000. These are 6,000 too many from the perspective of the International Committee of the Red Cross, and we would like to see this reduced to a zero. To this date, you have 161 states that are party to the Anti-Personnel Mine Ban Convention. That is close to 3/4 of humanity. However, there has been talk of reintroduction of these weapons into the arsenals of modern militaries. From our perspective, we think this would be an extremely bad idea. The minuscule military advantage that militaries get from these weapons is completely overshadowed by the massive humanitarian consequences of these weapons. As a matter of illustration, let me take you back to the Middle East in the 90s. During the Gulf War, Iraq emplaced close to 9 million landmines. They were both anti-personnel and anti-vehicle mines. This gave them a false sense of security that their defenses were now strong and they would not be breached for many, many days. Do you know how long it took the opposing forces to breach these minefields? It took them 2 hours. 2 hours to breach because they had modern equipment, they had tank-mounted armored plows, they had armored hoses, and because of this technology, they were able to breach this minefield. However, we still continue to humanitarian demine that area, which means that the consequences of a conflict from the 90s continues today. We think these weapons belong in the past and should stay in the past. If we are to preserve a modicum of humanity in war, these weapons must be banned forever.
International Committee of the Red Cross.